daunt.
ভীত করা, দমন করা, ভয় দেখানো।
Daunt means to frighten or scare off. The Cowardly Lion's efforts to daunt Dorothy, the Scarecrow, and the Tin Man were less than successful. Daunt rhymes with haunt, another word which means to frighten, though in a creepier sense. Walking through your neighbor's haunted house on Halloween might daunt your little brother, even though he's unlikely to encounter anything scarier than plastic skeletons and ghosts made of sheets. Daunt often shows up as part of the adjective undaunted, which describes someone who remains unafraid or perseveres in the face of scary circumstances.
Synonym:
Appall, baffle, deter, dismay, despirit, horrify, intimidate, subdue, terrify.
Antonym:
Calm, comfort, delight, encourage, hearten, help, inspirit. Decorum,
শালীনতা, ভদ্রতা, শোভনতা, শ্রেষ্ঠ।
Decorum is proper and polite behavior. If you let out a big belch at a fancy dinner party, you're not showing much decorum. This noun is from Latin decus proper, becoming, handsome, from decor beauty, grace, which is also the source of English decor. The corresponding adjective is decorous, meaning well-behaved in a particular situation. Both decorum and decorous are often used to describe behavior in a classroom or courtroom.
Synonym:
Civility, correctness, decency, demeanor, dignity, gentility, orderliness.
Antonym:
Immorality, impropriety, rudeness, unsuitableness, wrong, bad manners, disorganization, indecency. Deference,
সম্মান, বশ্যতা স্বীকার, বাধ্যতা মানিয়ে নেওয়া।
you wear ripped jeans to school every day, but you don't wear them to your grandmother's house out of deference to her. When you show deference to someone, you make a gesture of respect. The noun deference goes with the verb defer, which means to yield to someone's opinions or wishes out of respect for that person. If you and your dad disagree about the best route to the grocery store, you might defer to him and take his route. You're taking his route out of deference to his opinion and greater experience.
Synonym:
Yielding, acquiescence, capitulation, complaisance, condescension, docility, obeisance, submission.
Antonym:
Dishonor, disobedience, disregard, ignorance, impoliteness, non-compliance. Default,
অক্ষমতা, অনুপস্থিতি, ত্রুটি, অপরাধ।
as a setting, a default is automatic. You weren't sure why your new TV kept returning to the factory defaults until you realized you were sitting on the remote. Default can also refer to a lack of other options. You shop at Greens by default, it's the only grocery store in town. Default is also a failure to pay a financial obligation. The number of loan defaults was down this month. As a verb, it means to fail to pay. Your credit score will go down if you default on a loan.
Synonym:
Delinquency, non-payment, absence, blemish, blunder, dearth.
Antonym:
Abundance, accuracy, achievement, adequacy, advantage. Delineate,
বর্ণনা করা, চিত্রিত করা।
though you pronounce it delineate, there is a line in the middle of delineate. This might help you remember that to delineate is to outline and define something in detail or with an actual marking of lines and boundaries. When you create an outline for a paper, it usually summarizes what you will detail later. You delineate the sections or mark the heading lines, and when you write the details, you delineate the subject of each heading. So, to delineate is both to mark lines and to fill in the lines. Using a fence to divide properties or a carpet to claim your side of the bedroom also is a way to delineate or mark physical boundaries.
Synonym.
Define, depict, lay out, limn, characterize, chart.
Antonym.
Confuse, distort, denigrate,
অপমান করা, কলঙ্কিত করা, হে করা।
To denigrate is to say bad things, true or false, about a person or thing. Your reputation as a math whiz might be hurt if your jealous classmate manages to denigrate you, even though the accusations are unfounded. The verb denigrate comes from the Latin word denigrate, which means to blacken. To sully or defame someone's reputation, or to spread negative or hurtful information about a company or a situation, is to denigrate it. Your neighbors may denigrate your proposal for mandatory recycling in an attempt to stop your plan. Denigrate can also mean that you're making something seem less important, like when your brother tries to denigrate your athletic achievements.
Synonym.
Besmirch, defame, disparage, impugn, slander, vilify, asperse.
Antonym.
Approve, commend, compliment, flatter, praise, laud, boost, cherish, deride.
উপহাস করা, ঠাট্টা করা, বিদ্রূপ করা।
The verb deride means to speak to someone with contempt or show a low opinion of someone or something. A bully might constantly deride other kids in his class, which might lead to many afternoons spent in the principal's office. To ride people is to get on their case or give them a hard time, and to deride is to do the same with insulting language or poor treatment. Deride comes from the Latin root deridere, meaning to ridicule, to scorn, and it's often used to express dislike or even hatred. Criticizing something with words is a common way to deride, and politicians often deride each other in their speeches during election campaigns.
Synonym.
Disdain, disparage, mock, ridicule, scoff, scorn, taunt.
Antonym.
Admire, approve, compliment, flatter, praise, respect, commend, revere. Derivative,
অমৌলিক, ব্যুৎপন্ন, উৎপন্ন।
as a noun, a derivative is a kind of financial agreement or deal. As an adjective, though, derivative describes something that borrows heavily from something else that came before it. The economic meltdown of the last decade is due largely to the mismanagement of derivatives, which are deals based on the outcome of other deals.
Synonym.
Cognate, secondary, subordinate, acquired, ancestral, caused, connate, copied, evolved.
Antonym.
Important, superior, inventive, original, unborrowed, unique. Desiccate,
শুষ্ক করা, শুষ্ক হওয়া, শুকনো।
the verb desiccate means to dry out, dry up, and dehydrate. It's helpful to desiccate weeds but certainly not crops. As anyone who's been stuck in the desert will tell you, being desiccated by the burning sun isn't much fun. Stemming from the Latin word desiccare, which means to dry up, desiccate also means to preserve something by drying it out. Without desiccation, raisins or beef jerky would not be possible.
Synonym.
Dehydrate, deplete, devitalize, divest, drain, dry, evaporate, exsiccate, parch,
Antonym.
dampen, expand, fill, grow, moisten, soak, wet, moisturize. Desultory.
অপ্রয়োজনীয়, অসংলগ্ন, অবাস্তব, এলোমেলো।
If you lack a definite plan or purpose and flit from one thing to another, your actions are desultory. Some people call such desultory wandering spontaneous. Others call it being lost. The adjective desultory comes from the word desultor, which was a circus rider who would leap from the back of one galloping horse onto another. From this literal sense of jumping from one thing to another, we get the modern meaning of desultory as jumping between things without a logical purpose.
Synonym.
Aimless, chaotic, erratic, haphazard, chance, deviating, orderless, rambling,
Antonym.
organized, systematic. Deterrent.
প্রতিরোধক, প্রতিবন্ধক।
A deterrent makes you not want to do something. Let's say there's a giant pile of cookies being guarded by an angry dog. The dog is a deterrent.
People talk about deterrence most often when discussing crime. The death penalty is supposed to be a deterrent. The idea is that people will be so scared of the death penalty that they won't commit certain crimes.
Teachers also use deterrence. The possibility of getting detention is a deterrent that should encourage students to behave. A deterrent is the opposite of a reward. A reward encourages you to do the right thing, while a deterrent discourages you from doing the wrong thing.
Synonym.
Disincentive, hindrance, obstacle, bridle, check, curb.
Antonym.
Assistance, help, encouragement, catalyst, incentive.